We are here live with Midwest Manufactured Live, where we tell the stories of great manufacturers, the things that they've learned, the things that they're doing now, and how they are leading the future. Today, my special guest is Phil Samuels. He is in sales and marketing manager for North American Tool, which is one of the fastest growing premium cutting tools companies in the U.S. and maybe the world. My name is Jason Todd. I'm publisher of Midwest Manufactured, and then also managing director of Thinker Ventures, a business development company in the Rockford area. Phil, welcome to Midwest Manufactured Live.
Thank you.
So your role as director of sales and marketing at North American Tool, tell us a little bit about that role and the place you play in the world.
Well, the company was founded in 1986, and in fact, we just had our 33rd anniversary on Sunday. And we make special taps and dies.
Okay.
Not standards. So they're special because we make them, but they're also special because they're custom.
Okay. What makes a custom tap or die?
It could be that it's a little longer than the typical standard would be. It could be that it's a little shorter. It could be that we use things called H limits to give us tolerances on the size of the taps.
Okay.
And so if you needed an oversized tap, say you were going to plate something after you have threaded it, you might want an oversized tap. We do that all day long.
Because you're going to build up additional material after you plate it.
Exactly.
Interesting. So you have some high tolerances that you also keep in these special components.
Yes.
It's not this traditional stuff that you just go off and buy off the shelf.
That is correct.
So you've been in the industry for quite some time, but you've been with North American Tool for 4 years, yeah?
That is correct.
And have you always been in the tap and die industry or cutting tools
always
industry?
Been in cutting tools.
Yes.
Yes, cutting tools and distribution. But threading is easily the most complex thing that you learn when you get into cutting.
Okay.
Because there are so many rules. Those standard products exist because when you go to Home Depot or get anything to use a fastener,
yeah,
that kind of thing, they have to be the same.
Yes.
So in an industrial application where there are exceptions to those rules, that's where we come into play.
Yeah, so you make all the special things that nobody else is making. And you've got some special processes, we've talked briefly about it, some special processes that enable you to make those special components or custom components quickly. And you also have some cool cutting edge technologies that you guys use. Now, the whole cutting tool industry is old.
That would be fair. I believe the first drill company was 1872.
Yeah, so this has been going on a long time, but you guys, North American Tool is leading the industry from at least my perspective, and I think the numbers prove it, in the way you guys communicate with your audience. Mm-hmm. So you're looking into the future. Tell us about some ways that you guys are leading your industry.
Well, the entire culture began in '86 with this idea that the tools had to be made quickly.
Okay.
And it is not uncommon in our industry for a distributor to call in for a quote for a special tool, whether it's a tap or something else, and the actual response may take 2 weeks. So our plan is we want to get you a quote in an hour. And if we can do that, then frequently we'll get the order because we're the first ones to respond. And if it's off of a standard blank, which starts the way you would with a standard tool.
Which is like this.
That is correct.
It has no cuttings on it.
That's right. That's a blank that has not been ground for threads.
Yeah. Okay. And then you have this, which
is a finished product.
That's ground for threads.
Yes.
Okay.
And in that particular case, it happens to be a plug tap. So I can tell that because there's 3 to 5 incomplete threads at the front end.
Interesting. And for maybe our audience members who don't quite understand this industry, you take this blank, you grind it down, and all of a sudden it has these threads. And this then is going to go into something which is actually cutting.
Hole.
Okay, so they now just have a cylindrical hole, and then this is going to cut down into there and actually going to make the threads.
Correct.
So that then you could take a bolt or something and then put that in there and thread in. Yeah?
Exactly right.
Okay, so that's a tap. Awesome.
And so if it's off that standard blank, we're going to ship it tomorrow.
Really? Wow. So you get an order in today, you're going to take a standard blank and you're going to get it out the door tomorrow.
Yes.
And you do that hundreds of times a day at least.
That is correct.
That's got to be quite the process.
Well, everybody's in a hurry. And that includes the people ordering the product. I mean, frequently they don't know they've got a product. You know, one of the scenarios that you see is that people will send their parts, the end user will send their parts out for heat treat.
Okay.
And then when it comes back after being heat treated, the dimensional characteristics are not the same as when they left.
Right, yeah, because
And
it's
so
heat treated.
sometimes they have to scramble to make modifications, and that's why.
Okay, so in that circumstance, are they kind of relooking at the tolerances and making those determinations, or do they call you up for help and say, "Hey, here's how something changed. What do I need to do to this part?"
It could work either way, but a big feature of what we need to know in order to make the right tap is what is the material you're cutting, how hard is it, what are you trying to accomplish? You know, we try to get enough information so that we understand how the metal, the steel of the part that they're machining is going to react to a cut thread.
Interesting. So now you can make these taps out of different types of materials.
We typically either use high-speed steel, premium steel, or carbide.
Okay, and who makes that determination?
It's application specific. So
Okay.
if you call in and you say, this is what I'm trying to do, our engineers are going to say, oh, we want to use premium steel for that, or we want to use carbide for that.
Gotcha. So you're working them through the process of getting the right tap
Yes.
to accomplish whatever their goal is.
Yes, because it doesn't help when you ship it tomorrow and then it doesn't work.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, that's a bad thing.
And you've honed this, you said, for 33 years now. And you've been with North American Tool for 4 years as Director of Sales and Marketing. So tell us, how have you seen the industry change, or maybe in more broadly, the cutting tool industry change now that we're here in 2019?
Well, I think that there's a massive amount of consolidation going on both at the end user level, at the distribution level, and at the manufacturer vendor level.
Okay.
So there are fewer and fewer companies to deal with, and they're getting larger and larger. And our experience has been that when our distributors are acquired, it frequently changes the way they go to market. And so if you've got a philosophy of, I want the most popular stuff and I want to be able to ship it off the shelf, we're probably not going to be a major vendor for you. If you have the idea that you want to be a solutions provider and that you want to go in and help your customer engineer the right product for the situation, we become, I like to say we cast a larger shadow than we deserve based on our volume. Because what I'll say is, to a distributor, if you use us and you solve a problem for that end user, they're going to turn around and look at you and go, what else do you sell? And they might sell more grinding wheels or more measuring equipment because they sold this solution and had it in a timely fashion.
Yeah, absolutely. So you're providing a service then ultimately to the end user, and that manufacturer's rep or distributor sitting in the middle of that, you're making them the hero because they can solve the problem, but you're stepping into that. Now, the North American Tool business seems to fill that gap. When you're talking about consolidation, you got the really small businesses, and then you've got the larger, conglomerates and things. You fill that gap where you can do these custom things super fast, super efficiently, and is that your special sauce?
Yeah, absolutely. We have about 60 employees, and we have a fair amount of CNC equipment. We do have some manual equipment because sometimes the longer setup for a CNC actually hinders our ability to get a product out the door right away.
Gotcha.
And we do have 2 facilities because the South Campus, where headquarters is the traditional, what I've described. The North Campus up in Beloit, which is maybe 8 or 9 miles from the South Campus, is what we call our long-run special plant. And so if somebody calls us, if you order more than 48 pieces, I have a time constraint on how long it takes me to make those tools.
Yeah.
So if you ordered 200 pieces, I probably can't ship those tomorrow.
Gotcha.
But I can put them in the long-run special plant and get them through efficiently, and then as soon as we can get them done, we can get them to
Yeah, so this is a well-oiled machine.
Well, it's a machine, and we think we're doing pretty well with it.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, one of the things that I know that you came with is this idea of online communications and working with your end users in a totally new way, I think, than a lot of manufacturers look at, because they're so stuck. I mean, because all of us get stuck in the thing that we're doing. They're stuck in the way things have always been done. You brought with us this ThreadTap application, which enables what? What is the value that the end user is going to get out of this app?
So I'd love to take credit for it, but to be fair,
It's okay, you can take credit.
I'm just good at talking about it. It was here when I got here, and it has continued to evolve, and I'm certain that it will continue to evolve. So we have a lot of features involved.
Okay.
But if I can demo.
Yeah, please.
All right, so there are 8 buttons on this app, and they all do different things. But we're going to start with what is essentially the catalog online.
Okay.
And everything in our book is organized by size. So if I hit this, this is every 1/8" tap that we feature in our catalog. Oops, I actually hit the button and picked one out, and I didn't intend to do that right away. But we've done it. So so any of those red screen things you saw on the screen are the full description. So now I've got a part number, I've got a picture, I can also see it as a drawing. I come down here, this is list pricing, which we suggest for end users to pay based on quantity breaks.
Sure.
And then in this, there's an application note that tells you why would you use this particular tap. And if you choose, you can come down here and select a material, and then we'll also give you, at the bottom here, the surface footage you need to run that product with.
Wow.
So that's for every single item that's in the book.
And approximately how many items is that?
Between 5,000 and 6,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's impressive.
Okay, I'm glad you're impressed. Then you'll really like the next thing.
Yeah, tell me about it.
So this is our thread designer. This is available for both taps and for thread mills.
Okay.
And I'm going to show you the taps because A, we're a tap company, and B, we've had it a little longer. And on the mobile, you can see that there's a model that works at the bottom that kind of shows you what you're looking for. And so as you make selections, it will change that model, provided I do them in the correct way. So that model now went from through to blind, and from vertical to horizontal. And as you make choices, all of this information will then give you a model down here.
So you're designing the particular tap that you want to see, and then you can double check it visually.
Yes. And in fact, so much so that we can move this around and go, oh, look, there's only 4 flutes here. I meant to make that 7 flutes. And now it'll redraw it, and you can go back and count them.
And it looks like you also get an updated dimensional.
That is correct.
Drawing there as well.
In fact, the dimensional drawing is exactly what you fill in. The model is close.
Yeah.
You know, we just want you to have an idea of where it's going.
Yeah.
And then the last step is that's the only time we ever ask anybody who are they and where do we send the quote.
So at the front end of working with North American Tool, if you needed a tap, then you could go into the ThreadTap app and which rhymes. I think you guys knew that. That's why you set it up the way you did. So brilliant marketing. You must be in sales marketing.
I wish I could take credit. Yes.
So you plug your specifications into the application.
Yes.
You can double check that.
Yes.
It's like, okay, this is I think what I need. Then they enter their information. Then they're going to get a contact back from some smarty pants at your place location who's going to say, tell me a little bit more. Let's double check this is what you need. And then they could order that and get it tomorrow.
In most cases, yes.
That's amazing.
Yes. Well, and another little thing that we do, if you as a distributor decide that you want to put this on your website, we'll swap out the logo for North American Tool.
Yeah.
Oops, goodness, didn't mean to do that.
Yeah.
And put in the distributor logo, and then we're down here in partnership with.
So you'll white label that for a distributor who wants to go sell parts from North American Tool.
Correct.
That is brilliant.
It's very cool. When they open it on their website, there's a button there that's pre-designed, and it opens in the next tab so they don't leave the distributor website.
Yeah. And
then they can go through this exact same process. And when they're done, they close the app, and they're back on the first tab, which is the distributor website. So.
In my mind, I look at that as a brilliant way to meet the end user need without alienating distribution chain.
That is. that is our primary way to market, and we do everything we can to put our arms around it.
It sounds like you're doing a great job with that. Now, we also talked about your website. You have content that goes out on your website pretty constantly. Is that kind of industry news or things that are happening, or what?
Typically, we like to call it an informational blog,
Okay.
and we will select a product or a service or something that we're doing and write about it, but it's not in terms of this is what North American Tool does. It's the idea is if you need, one of the more popular ones was we did a blog on Acme versus trapezoid taps.
Okay.
We're getting into the woods here, but
Yeah.
what's the difference?
Who would be the audience for that type of content?
The person who's going to use an Acme or a trapezoid tap.
Okay.
And they're going to go, I don't know which one to use.
Yeah.
They Google it. We are the first thing that comes up when you
and
use
that's
them.
just free information for a
Yes.
person who
Yes.
is that end user who's not sure how to navigate this world.
Everything I've read suggests that 70 to 85% of the buying decision is made before they reach out to a distributor or a manufacturer to select a tool.
Really?
Yes. So that's another reason we push really hard on these ideas so that people can get information from the website and from the ThreadTap app so that they've got a pretty good idea what they want before they call the distributor.
So this concept or methodology, or maybe process, however you want to term it, of moving the organization forward into into the future through generating content and through creating applications where people can get their problems solved for free. Is that indicative of the culture of the organization, or is this something that's like, hey, we're going to take a flyer on these things, and you found it to just be a winner?
I think that our owner and president, Kurt Lansbury, was really ahead of his time on this. And sometimes he says we're on the bleeding edge rather than the cutting edge.
Yeah.
Which
there's a difference.
Yes, and sometimes that means that maybe we've invested a lot of money in something and maybe the return hasn't been what we would hope it would be. But as we began to co-brand this, and I will take a little bit of credit for this, because once I got here, I really started pushing that.
Well, you're the guy with the microphone, so you can take as much credit as you need.
Yeah, well, I very honestly, I am blessed to be representing this company, this organization, these people. They do a tremendous job. And when we go to a convention or a trade show, people are very complimentary to us.
Yeah.
And I always say, we have outstanding customer service. And one of the things I say to the distributors is, have you ever had anybody stand in front of you and say, my customer service is just a little bit less than average? So it's sort of a hollow claim until you realize that the distributors come to me and tell me how good customer service
Right.
is.
Yeah.
So that's an easy company to represent. And
Yeah, totally.
And when you go to a convention and they say, well, they said all these nice things, but they're not going to say anything bad to you. I said, no. The first one I went to at a different organization, the president was there. He'd never attended either. And he got an earful because we were having lots of delivery problems and well, they're only angry with you when they need you. And so they let him have it. And he said, I'm never going back. And he didn't. And that was 35 years ago. So we take very seriously that opportunity to interact with the distributors when we get it. So
Absolutely. Well, this is fascinating. Now, I know that one of the challenges that we've talked about is finding workforce.
Yes.
And I know the manufacturers all over the U.S. are having a very difficult time with this because, for whatever reason, a lot of reasons behind it. Would it be fair to say that North American Tool knows how to take care of its employees?
Absolutely. We I'm getting a kick out of. We have a wall of fame in our manufacturing setting where there's a picture of every employee.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, and the date they were hired is on there.
Oh, okay.
And we have a number of folks who've 25, 30 years, and when it's 33 years old, that's about the max that you can hope for. So I'm getting a kick now out of seeing a number of them that were hired after me.
Yeah.
4 years hence. But what you see is we've got a core of people that drive the organization and know the culture and do and pass that on.
Yeah.
But combination of full employment where nobody's really looking, and now you've got people who have been trained that college is the only way to go. And so when you say, I've got an opportunity for you in manufacturing, they have this vision of it might be dirty, it might be something that they don't want to do. Our plant is very, very clean.
Right. And a lot of it's high technology stuff.
And a lot of it is high technology with computers.
And building apps.
Yes, exactly.
And managing content on websites.
Yes.
Yeah, a lot of things that people don't understand.
Yeah.
So one of the things I want to point out is Poopsies in Galena. Mm-hmm. Now, they're a sponsor of our broadcasts.
Yes.
And one of the things that they introduced was the corporate appreciation gift box. Mm-hmm. And the reason they introduced that is because it's difficult to show appreciation to employees sometimes, because what do I get them and how do I make this thing happen when we're all busy doing stuff? And so they made it very easy. You can actually just call them up or go on their website and give them a brief description of kind of what you're looking for. And they have folks, they call them poopettes, who will find the perfect gift, and they'll ship 1 or 10 or 100 of them to your company so that you can show appreciation, because everybody wants to show appreciation. The process sometimes is difficult. So Poopsies makes it easy. To show appreciation to you, we've got a corporate appreciation gift box, so we want to present something to you, and I don't even know what's in it. So I'm always really tickled to figure out what's in it. Sometimes this is thrown, but we're gonna reach it to the obscure hand, who's right off screen, to see the Poopsies Corporate Appreciation Gift Box
In Galena, Illinois?
In Galena, Illinois.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Have you been there?
I have always wanted to go, but I haven't.
You've never been to Galena?
Yet. I have not.
Yeah, because you've been in this area for 4 years.
Yes, that's correct.
Yes, it is one of the places you should definitely go to.
Agreed.
And now you'll know why.
Okay.
Let's see this.
You want me to open this now?
I think so.
Okay.
I might regret it after we open it, but
well,
the rules say we have to.
Yeah. Oh, well, there you go. We want them to be happy. Okay, so I've got a Newton's cradle.
There we go.
The little balls that go back and forth. And
put the ball in motion.
pretending to be a mature adult is exhausting. I
that's a
would
magnet?
concur with that, although my guess is probably a slightly younger person would have been more perfect, but hey, and then an explanation of how they put together these lovely things for us.
Yes, the Poopsies Live
Yes.
and Poopsies Corporate Appreciation Gift Box.
Well, you're just too kind.
Well,
Thank you.
we appreciate you being on the broadcast here, and our team picks these out. You got to go to Poopsies. They also have a hotel connected right above them.
Okay.
So you can go there for a weekend as well. So, in closing, North American Tool, premium cutting tool manufacturer, super fast service, even for super custom things, makes it easy to find those things through an app, and also a lot of content to educate your end user online.
And excellent customer service.
And fantastic customer service, which again, you've got so many parts of this business which make you successful surviving in this niche. And for doing it for so long. So tell us, how does a person get a hold of North American Tool if they are in need of your services?
Well, we accept any form of communication. They can email us
Pigeon?
at sales@NATool. I often say carrier pigeon. If you want to send an order, I'm happy to do that. But our website is www.natool.com, N and A like North American. And so all of the contact information is there as well.
Awesome. Well, Phil, thanks for being on the broadcast today. This is Midwest Manufactured Live. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel if you want to see more manufacturers, what they've done in the past, who they are today, and what they see in the future ahead. We've learned a lot today, I think, from Phil and how their company is thriving in this new economy of interconnected communication for even an old industry for taps. Join us next time, Midwest Manufactured Live. Thanks for joining us. This is where we awkwardly look at each other.